Number two, you gotta believe. And belief can take a lot of different forms. Here's what I believe. In 1996, my partner and I had received an angel investment from a friend of his for $25,000 to start our first website. That was a lot of money. It's not so much right now. I'll tell you about that in a little bit, but it was a lot of money. And I quit my job. And it felt good. And I thought we were going to make millions. And in I think June or July of 96, I showed the checkbook to my sweet wife, Mary. And she said, "Is that decimal place in the wrong place?" And it was $1.37. But I thought this is what I was supposed to do. I was just so certain I was supposed to quit my job and pursue this. I just knew. I'm okay with everybody having their own personal beliefs. Whatever you believe, that's fine. I love you. It doesn't matter. I personally believe in God. And at that moment, I fell to my knees. And my prayer was something like this. Oh, God! You think I'm joking. I'm not being funny. You want to hear the rest of the story? This is the good part. Within the week, I got an email from a man in Seattle from a firm that I had never heard of representing a Japanese multimedia corporation, kind of like a Time Warner in Japan. They were called Takarajamisha Inc. Took me a while to learn to say that. Say Takarajamisha. And that is your Japanese lesson for today, although I don't know what it means. The gentleman said, "Mr. Comm, this is an email. We'd be interested, I'm representing such and such, and we'd be interested in speaking with you to discuss possible licensing of your website content for localization in Japan." I thought, okay, I'll talk to the guy, figure, we're going to get on the phone. This is going to be worth a couple $100 a month or so. This will help, pay the car bill. I get on the phone with him. Great guy. His name's Gary. And before I could even talk money with him, he says, "We'd like to give you $5,000 a month." In the cartoons when the jaw just goes, boom, hits a, And for whatever reason, maybe it was also a God thing, I stayed cool and composed. I'm like, yep, I think we could probably work that out. It ended up being, we actually upsold him into some more services, and it was $7,500 a month, and out of nowhere, saved my butt. Do I believe? Yes. And do I believe that when you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, things are going to happen? Absolutely. So what happens when the bottom falls out again? Okay, now I know a lot of you guys were there for the .com bust. You probably don't want to put your hands up there, but who felt the pinch? Ooh. Here's the thing. The .com bust that took place in 2000, mid-2000, everything was smoking. I mean, we were making ridiculous money on our websites. But when the bubble burst, it was because venture capitalists were throwing millions upon millions of dollars at any business plan with a .com in it. You could have done a business plan for a website called monkeyunderwear.com and raised $10 million. It's the next big thing that's got a .com on it. And they were throwing money at it blindly. Well, that can't sustain itself, and eventually the market collapsed. A lot of these businesses went out of business. There are still office buildings standing in Austin, Texas. They may not be leased because they were built for some big .com companies and all their extravagance. What's that? And San Francisco, yep. Still standing is a testament to how not to run a business. So what did I do when that happened? I adapted. I liked buying and selling online, and I found eBay. And I found Beanie Babies. And my kids really loved them, and my wife loved them, so as a family, we were passionate about them, and I sold them online. And I was able to support my family and make money. We adapted. You got to be able to adapt. What about when you're alone with your big dream? In 2000, when the market went bust, and I started selling Beanie Babies because all our ad revenue dropped off, we eventually started going through our savings. Now, I did sell a site to Yahoo previously for over $1 million, so we had some money, but we were still burning through our savings. And, the more money you make, your lifestyle kind of increases to kind of fit that. We did save some, but we were really burning through it. And in January of 2004, my sweet wife, who loves me very dearly, looked me in the eye and said, "We're burning through our cash, sweetie. How much longer are we going to do this?" And she believes in me, in my passion, so she kind of wanted a time limit. And I said, "I'll tell you what, I really believe that things are going to turn around. I believe in the internet, and I believe that there is serious business that's going to take place here, and it's going to come around. Just give it some time." And I said, by June 30th, halfway through the year, if we don't see a change in the trend, then I will do something. I don't know what I would do, though, honestly. Because you can't go back. Might go be a DJ again? Be an encyclopedia salesman again? I was. It's true. I was sitting in a conference room, small one, little mastermind group, in April of 2004. And the gentleman next to me had his laptop open. And on his laptop was his Google AdSense report. For those who don't know what Google AdSense is, Google, the world's biggest search engine, took in $14 billion last year. Do this, like Dr. Evil. $14 billion. Yes. 14 billion. And they pay out a sizable portion of that to people who own websites and will put their ads on the websites. You've seen ads by Google before. If you've surfed the web, there are text ads, sometimes there's image ads, and if you go to somebody's site, they have the ads on there, and you click the ad, Google gets paid, and Google shares the revenue with the site owner. Ooh. You want to talk passive income. I dabbled with Google when they started their program in late 2003. Didn't make anything with it. So I think I was kind of depressed at that time also because we weren't making anything and I didn't want to fiddle with it. But in 2004, I saw an AdSense report of a colleague, and he was making $200, $250 a day passive income with Google AdSense. Well, it was more than I was making. And I thought, That day, I started digging deep into AdSense, and I started testing the various ad blocks because they give you a lot of choices. I started testing the colors. I started testing page placements. That day, my AdSense revenue went to $80. That day. The next day, over 100. I kept testing more and more. We're talking passive now. I'm just fixing up the ads that are on my site, putting up content. By the next month, $250, $300 a day. A month or two later, I'm hitting $800 to $1,000 a day in AdSense passive income. And this is, those who might know me from before, goateed in my other years, the book that I wrote is called The AdSense Code, and it came out 2 years ago, actually. Still is usually in the top 10,000 books on Amazon at any time, became a New York Times bestseller. How cool is that? And to this day, I still teach people how to make very sizable passive income with Google AdSense and so many other different ways of making money online. It's really ludicrous. But at that moment, everything turned around. Now, nobody else knew, in my heart that I thought the internet was going to come back. But I did, and I believed. You got to believe that there is a plan and a purpose for your life. I don't care what the voices in your head say, unless there's more than one of them, in which case you should get some assistance. I don't care what your friends say. They may be friends, they may be friends. I don't care what your family says if they are contrary to what you believe in your heart to be true. You have to believe the truth. You have to embrace the truth. You have to soak in the truth that you have a reason, a purpose, a plan for your life. You are no accident. Turn to your neighbor and say, you are no accident. It's the truth. You got to believe. You have to surround yourself. Well, y'all just having too much fun. That's why we're here. You got to surround yourself with people who believe in you and believe in your dream. People that will lift you up. People that will encourage you. People that will prompt you forward even when it looks like you're hitting a dead end. When you hit that dead end, that they come along and say, get up. This is what you were made to do. Get up and do it again. And keep doing it, and keep doing it, and don't stop. Let that just soak in that. I want you to just embrace that, because it's so critical, because everything you do stems from this philosophy of believing. Let's go forward, not backward. And you got to believe that the success that you want, however you define it, is there for you. There's a great book that I read, 20 years or so ago called Do What You Love, The Money Will Follow. Great book. But we really have to adjust that a little bit, because what about people who work in charitable organizations? How often does money follow? What about our underpaid teachers? How often does the money follow? Do what you love, the reward will follow. You like that? I do too. So whatever your definition is of success, if your passion is to be the best darn teacher that those fourth graders ever had, then you just embrace that and learn everything you can, and don't get sucked in by the system, and stay true to yourself and give those kids everything you've got. And the reward will come.